I'd like to tell you about the Quiet Man.
Yo, what up? It's Fresh Daily, MC, artiste from Brooklyn, New York, and yeah, what up? What up? I feel like the majority of the music that I do is based in reality. It's just my very first album was called Life Music because I didn't want to kick anything I haven't lived. So I think the majority of the things that I write about and spit about is based off life. You know, I feel like it was Kanye that had this line where he said in an interview, he was like, "I make music for dudes that love God and like pussy." You know, like, even though it's a weird juxtaposition, it's like you can identify. You know what I mean? You definitely can identify, like, you know. So I make identifiable music from a very signature place, and as a visual artist, I try to take that same energy for things that I see and apply it to the music that you hear. My influences are slim to none, I want to say, because it's tough to say who really influenced me. I wasn't allowed to listen to secular music. I got raised really really strictly. So, but I say I was inspired by a lot of things. Visually, I want to say I'm a cartoonist before I'm even a graphic artist or anything else. I started off doodling cartoons ever since I was 3 years old, and a lot of the inspiration behind that was graffiti. I would see a lot of street art, and now it's like really cool to like street art. But I just remember when it was just graffiti on the walls and in the train. Two of the most biggest street artists that I would see a lot, whose styles I want to say played on my own, was Keith Haring and A. Charles. A. Charles was also influenced from Keith Haring. It was like almost like having two different versions of Keith Haring. A. Charles was a little bit more hood, he used bigger bubble letters, while Keith Haring was more, he used lines a lot more. And a lot of that, seeing that, I just remember it being etched into my mind. Even when I left Brooklyn, we lived in Philly for a while, came back to the Bronx, and I just remember it. I remember it influencing me. And when I got older, I remember I started getting into R. Crumb, who was a graphic novelist who was big in the '70s scene, just amazing. So those definitely lent a lot of inspiration to my pen and the way I draw. But music-wise, when I found music, it ranged from Busta Rhymes to Mos Def to Talib Kweli to the Fugees to Arrested Development. Those are all very, very sort of 90s sounds that definitely inspired me. Influence is weird because I can't say I hear anything of of them in me, maybe, but I could definitely hear where they inspired me to do my own thing. Growing up in Brooklyn, I mean, it's weird because growing up in Brooklyn, it was such. I'm struggling to think of words to really describe it. Real is a good one. Is real. Kind of having a signature sense of style helped you kind of break out and set yourself apart. It was difficult for me because we were so poor, so I had to be really inventive. But I remember, New York in its own is a melting pot. It's there's a million cultures all coming together. So the style here was really important. You would have old Rastas who had were here, who had their look, even their style. You have rockers who had a little bit of mod. You know what I mean? Rastas who had a little bit of mod style, and then Rasta style, and you take that and you see those dudes Washington Square Park, and then you see downtown kids, skaters. You see old Puerto Rican dudes in guayaberas playing dominoes on the corner in bodegas. This is way before bodegas were mainly Middle Eastern, but they were all Puerto Rican or Dominican. So you would see a lot of older dudes playing dominoes outside of bodegas. They had guayabera shirts and shorts. And so you have like all these different things, and then you had kids on the Upper West Side who were hella preppy. So there's all these different things that I would say that was dope. That was dope. That was dope. So growing up in Brooklyn, kind of like you took all these little pieces of different things and sort of applied them to your own style, and that helped you stand out because Brooklyn's the kind of place where you need to be both street smart and book smart to survive. You know what I mean? There's so many dualities and dichotomies in Brooklyn. Even now, as it's like the second most expensive place to live. It wasn't always that, but there was always this fine line between the haves and the have-nots living right next to each other. So you had to be book smart and street smart, and that definitely shaped the way I made music and created and dressed.
I do this primarily to
Growing up in Brooklyn.
more importantly, to hope that you find a familiar chord.
The Brooklyn Good Guys collective, it started, I feel like, with Green Street and Swad, and it started kind of as like a community-based thing where they wanted to, just have something positive for the greater good, and move within like music, art, and community-based works and writing. And I came along, I met Swad, and I came along, and I had a similar vision, but I felt like I could add some visibility to it maybe, and there was a way that we could like definitely monetize it and make people get together and come together and do things. So coming together with Brooklyn Good Guys, we kind of were able to take two kind of similar ideas, mush them together, and do great things. And we've done that. We've done mainly events. We did an event that called Greater Goods that we did at South by, and we had one here. And it was just inviting a whole bunch of MCs to come perform at a great showcase for a low price, and also bringing out MCs that you may not have gotten a chance to see before together on the same stage. And then we also did a pop-up shop, a vintage pop-up shop of housewares and goods that we partnered with Apartment Number 7 with, and it's just really it's really good to work together. People working together toward a common goal in your hometown, creating music together, having friendships, going out. It's good. It can never hurt. So I think being one of those sort of premier think tanks in our hometown has really helped us, our visibility always. So it's been cool being a part of the Brooklyn Good Guys, which consists of Cavalier, who's an MC, graphic designer, Sway Jury, another MC, graphic designer, Suwad, who is a writer and a community organizer, and Green Street, who are musicians, producers, DJs, DJ Jester, who's a DJ, clearly engineer, Nelson Caban, Craig Hackey. Nelson's a painter, Craig is an artist, entrepreneur, manager type thing. So it's cool. You have all these people from different walks of life, all of them different races, different ideals coming together, working toward a common goal, and I'm happy to be a part of it.